Hey y'all, what's up? Coach Paul here. God has qualified me. This is Move Mondays, and you have greatness in you. Now, y'all know before we get to talking about this, I gotta say this. If you don't move, that person, those people, those places, those things, those thoughts, those ideas, or those ways, Coach Paul promises you this. They are definitely gonna move you, man, and you don't want to move where they gonna move you to. All right. Now y'all know I got to drop my nugget. Wow. I think that this nugget that I'm gonna drop today gonna hurt many people, but it's gonna help many people as well. Give me a second. And here goes the nugget. Just because they are blood relatives, that doesn't mean that they family. All right. Now, let's get into what we're gonna be talking about today. First, I gotta give a shout out and an honor uh, to God that has allowed me the honor and the privilege of being in the company of family and the brotherhood of men that I've been knowing over 50 years. I spent the last weekend in Chicago, my hometown, had some good food, went to a class reunion, definitely hung out with mom, but I was able to hang with a brotherhood, people that I've been, some brothers, again, they are not blood relatives, but they are definitely family. Been knowing each other over 50 years, man, and it was just amazing for all of us to come together and to be able to have a relationship and to be alive. And all of us are well. All of us are doing things to better the quality of our lives in many ways. Some of us are on our way in other areas, but the best part about it was the brotherhood that we have. And so I was privileged and honored to be a part of that. And I'm hoping some of y'all out there uh, in YouTube land and Move Mondays land has some people that you know in your life that you can honestly say that about. Some brothers and some sisters. Oh, I forgot. I can't do that. I can't go without that. I hung out with some sisters that had that same thing too as well. So yes, it was beautiful. Now, let's get into what I'm gonna be talking about today. I'm drinking a little water, a little extra water because my today is a scientist day. However, the show must go on. Now, I I love the ocean. I've seen the ocean from cruise ships to tour boats to sightseeing boats to being in the bottom of a boat that the entire bottom of the boat was glass, where you could see all of the marine life, and it was beautiful. I've seen. I've been in parts of the world where you could actually see the bottom. The water is so blue and beautiful that you could see to the bottom of it. And I've been in parts where you could absolutely see nothing. I love the water. I love the ocean. But I love it from a boat standpoint, not from a standpoint of going in the water outside of a boat. And let me say this. Let me explain it. I would, when it comes to the ocean, if I'm not in a boat, the furthest that I'll go out into the water is probably calf high. That's as far as I'm going. And the reason why is because they got sharks in the water. And me, I just believe that I'll be that one that a shark decide that they want to start chewing on if I go too deep in the water. Now, what I'm gonna talk about in terms of that water, it's not about the sharks as much as it's about. I told y'all I'll only go so far into the water. Again, probably calf high is the highest, is the furthest that I'll go. And I want to talk about that from a greatness standpoint, because many of us out there, when it comes to our greatness, when it comes to our development, when it comes to the extraordinary potential in us, when it comes to the visions that we have and the gifts and the talents and the abilities, we are only willing to go so far. And in many cases, it's actually calling us, watch this. This is symbolic or metaphorical. Watch this. It's actually calling us to get out of the boat and go deep into the water. And if we don't do that, we're actually cheating ourselves, and we'll find ourselves living lives of searching, wanting, feeling unfulfilled. And it's and many times we could attest that to the fact that we're not going deep as we need to go in order to become who we're supposed to be, get what we're supposed to be getting. How do I know that? Because many times over my life in the past, I remember having visions. I remember being called. I remember things that I was told. I remember a whole lot of situations, and it called for me to go deep, but I only went so far. And in all of those cases, I missed opportunity. I missed blessings. I missed growth. I missed community. I miss camaraderie. I miss so many things over in my past because of the fact that I wasn't willing to go deep. Here's the thing. We got to think about where our mindsets are, because when it comes to things that's not conducive to our growth, in many cases, we'll be willing to go beyond the call of duty. In many cases, we put our all in. Let somebody have a barbecue. Let somebody have a fish fry. Let somebody have a chicken fry. Let somebody, watch this. Let Thanksgiving show up, or Christmas show up, or those holidays where all of the food is unhealthy. We're gonna go beyond the call of duty to make sure that we get there and be a part of that festivity. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some soul food. However, I understand that same deepness and that same willingness to eat that and make sure that I'm a part of that. I have to use that same willingness when it comes to going deep into the things that God is calling me to in terms of my greatness and the extraordinary potential that He's put in me. Because with my greatness, there's something that I'm supposed to be receiving, and there's something that I'm supposed to be giving. And if I don't go deep as I'm supposed to go, how am I ever going to know? And again, if it's something I'm supposed to be given, if I'm not going as deep as I'm supposed to go, I'm cheating somebody. And that's selfish. Many of us don't even know that those are some of the things that we're doing. Does it mean that we are malicious and mean people? No, we haven't probably thought about it from that perspective. That when we don't do what we're supposed to be doing, or go what we're supposed to be going, or go as deep or high or in as we're supposed to be going, we're actually cheating somebody else. And that is not fair. Now, I like the example that Eric Thomas used when he has a shirt, and I actually have one of the shirts that says, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I watched one of his YouTube clips, and he gave a story that was attached to that. And the story went like it was a kid that saw this guru that was successful, and the kid came to the guru and asked the guru, "Hey, I want to be successful. Can you teach me?" And the guru, talked to him, told him, "Yeah, I could teach you. Meet me at this certain place." Well, a certain place happened to end up being the ocean. And the guy who wanted the guru to teach him, he came dressed for success, right? Suited and booted, as they say. And he was like, "Okay, this is strange. Why he got me by the water?" So anyway, the guy asked him, "Do you want to be successful?" He said, yeah. He said, well, come out into the water with me. So he bought him probably ankle high, and then so forth and so on. He called him again, and he went a little deeper. He called him again, he went a little deeper, and he got to a point where he was deep enough that the guru grabbed his head and put it under the water. Now, I'm not going to even finish that whole story, but the thing is, in order for the guru to get him to that place where he was able to put his head under the water, he had to call him deeper. And the guy had to be willing to go deeper. Are you willing to do that same thing? For your greatness, am I willing to do that same thing for my greatness? Because let me tell you something. Sometimes people, shallow waters just ain't enough. It's not going to make the grass grow. It's not going to make the trees grow and bear fruit. It's not going to put you in the place where your greatness is sprouting like a beautiful flower, with a sweet smelling aroma to it, and being able to please and attend to and just do things for other people. That's what this whole thing is about. And again, I'm using this analogy because, I jokingly say it all the time when people talk to me about the ocean. Oh, I'm not going into the ocean. Why? Because of sharks. What are you scared of? What are you afraid of? What is it that you are trying to avoid as to the reason why you won't go deeper into what you need to go, into what you need to go in, into where you need to go, and into who you need to be going into it with to develop who you are in terms of your greatness? What is it? What is that thing that's stopping you? Because, in my life, again, the sharks was symbolic, right, to what was really going on. Because let me explain one of the reasons why in many cases I wasn't going deep. Maybe I might be able to help somebody by explaining this, because we're talking about greatness. We're talking about what we need to move in order to get into the greatness that God has called us to. Because if we don't move what we need to move to get into the greatness that God has put in us and called us to, we're going to spend our lives wanting, searching, digging, and helping somebody else better the quality of their lives at our expense. While they're getting better, we are not. And that's not how the design goes. Now, I remember, again, some of the reasons when it was many things that God had showed me and called me to, right? And I was like, me? It was many times, even doing this podcast, right? Me? Why? Because I didn't think that I was good enough. I didn't think that I was fit for. I thought God was literally confused when he told me, I want you to do this. I remember being in a situation, I probably mentioned this in one of my episodes, one of my previous episodes, about the fact that when I started to take classes to be a coach, to be a life coach, a professional coach, a recovery coach, when I saw the names of the people that were my classmates, all of these people, every last one of them had letters in front of their name or letters behind their name. I just had Paul Yerby. And I was automatically intimidated. I was automatically prepared to, listen, I'm already deep enough. Let me back out. I was already prepared because I didn't feel like I was good enough to be in that company. Now, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was God. But that was one time when, because I usually know how to shut up. I know how to not talk about, I was used to not talking about what was really going on. Let me say it like that. So when we were in class, and it was Zoom before Zoom was video, it was all audio. When we were in class and everybody was introducing themselves, again, it had to be God, because I know under normal circumstances, I would have never said what I said. Never. Here's what I said. When it got to me, I mentioned I introduced myself and I said, I read the list of all of my classmates, and I see that all of you all have letters in front of your names and letters behind your names. All I have is Paul Yerby, so I feel a certain level of inferiority. This is what I said, and again, under normal circumstances, that would have never come out of my mouth. And so I feel a sense of inferiority. Watch this. I was willing. In that moment when I saw that, I felt like, okay, I'm calf high in the water, trying to turn around. Right. That's how I felt. I'm calf high. When I read that list of my classmates, yep, that's enough. Time to back out. But thank God I went to the next class. And then, like I said, back to what I said, hey, I see all these letters in front of you all's names and behind y'all names, and I'm just Paul Yerby. And right now, I'm already set up with a sense of inferiority to all of you all, like I don't belong in here, like I'm not enough. And it was this one lady who chimed in and said, "Excuse me, sir, can I share something with you?" I said, "Yeah." She introduced herself as Jessica Yaffa. And she said to me, she said, "You are in the room because you're supposed to be here." Destroyed all of my inferiority complex. Destroyed, and she's one of my great friends to this very day. Thank you, Jessica Yaffa. So that helped me. That right there helped me to go deeper. And I want to extend that same thing that she told me to anybody out there who's listening in YouTube land and Move Mondays land. You in the room because you're supposed to be there. So go deeper. Go further. Go farther. Because like JC say, if that's not why you come, then why bother? With that being said, I'm going to land this plane. Yep, this is short. This is simple. This is to the point. We need to be going deeper. That's what this is all about. Today's Move Mondays. So I'm going to leave you all with a question. A couple of questions. What are you being called to that is calling you to go deeper? Who are you being called to that's calling you to go deeper? Where are you being called to that's calling you to go deeper? Because in these cases, shallow water will never work. This is Coach Paul. I love every last one of y'all. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until we meet the next time, I need everybody to be well, do the next right thing. God bless you all. And if you're looking for a butt, it's going to always be easy to find one. I'll see y'all next time. 2 of them.